The man who says nothing is usually the man who already knows how the story ends, while everyone else is shouting, explaining, defending, and begging to be understood. He stands in the darkness like a blade that has not yet left its sheath, silent, controlled, untouchable. Most men are terrified of silence. They fill every empty moment with noise, because silence forces them to face the one person they have been running from, themselves. But the disciplined man does not run. He enters the silence willingly. He sits with his anger until it becomes focus. He sits with his pain until it becomes strength. He sits with his fear until it kneels before him. That is why the quiet man is dangerous. Not because he has nothing to say, but because he has learned that words are expensive. He refuses to spend them on people who cannot afford his truth. Look at the weakest man in the room. He usually speaks the most. He announces every plan. He reveals every emotion. He explains every decision before anyone even questions him. He needs the room to approve of him because he has not yet learned to approve of himself. The powerful man is different. He does not broadcast his next move. He does not show the world where he is wounded. He does not hand strangers a map to his mind. He watches. He calculates. Then, when the moment arrives, he moves with the precision of a sword, cutting through moonlight. No warning, no speech, only results. The world has trained you to believe that attention is power. It is not. Attention is often a cage painted gold. The more people know about you, the more opportunities they have to judge you, distract you, manipulate you, and interfere with your mission. Silence closes the gates. It turns your mind into a fortress. It forces the enemy to stand outside and guess what waits behind the walls. And uncertainty creates fear. A loud man tells you what he might do. A silent man makes you wonder what he has already done. That mystery is power. In every great anime battle, the weakest fighter is usually the one screaming about his strength. He throws threats into the air like sparks, hoping someone will mistake the noise for fire. But the real warrior? He lowers his head. His eyes disappear beneath the shadow. His breathing slows. And suddenly, the entire atmosphere changes. Because true strength does not need an announcement. A storm does not explain itself before it destroys the sky. A wolf does not ask permission before entering the forest. A king does not argue with every fool who questions his crown. He simply remains what he is. This is where most men lose. Someone insults them, and they react. Someone doubts them, and they begin explaining. Someone leaves them, and they start begging. Someone misunderstands them, and they sacrifice their dignity trying to correct the story. But every unnecessary reaction gives away a piece of your power. Every emotional outburst tells the world where your buttons are. Every desperate explanation teaches people how to control you. Silence removes the buttons. It leaves them pressing against empty space. They expect anger, but you give them nothing. They expect fear, but your face remains still. They expect you to chase, but you disappear into the night and continue building. That is how you win without fighting. You let people expose themselves. Give a man enough silence, and he will reveal everything. His intentions, his insecurities, his jealousy, his hidden disrespect. Most people cannot survive an empty space in conversation. They rush to fill it. And while they speak, the silent man collects information. He studies the cracks in their armor. He notices the hesitation behind their confidence. He hears the truth hiding underneath their words. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is observation without interference. It is intelligence wearing a black cloak. But understand this clearly. Silence is not weakness. It is not cowardice. It is not avoiding every confrontation because you are afraid to stand up for yourself. Real silence is chosen. It is controlled. It comes from a man who knows he could speak, but understands that speaking would add nothing. There are moments when you must use your voice to defend your principles, to protect someone weaker, to say no when the world demands your obedience. But even then, your words should be clean, direct, sharp. A disciplined man does not give a 10-minute explanation when one sentence is enough. He does not shout because his message lacks weight. He speaks once, then he lets reality prove him right. This is the discipline of the quiet warrior. He does not waste energy winning imaginary battles inside other people's minds. Let them think you are weak. Let them think you are lost. Let them laugh while you train in the darkness. Their misunderstanding is camouflage. While they underestimate you, you become something they are no longer prepared to face. You build your body when no one is watching. You sharpen your mind while they scroll through distractions. You stack your money while they display borrowed luxury. You master your craft while they announce goals they will abandon next week. Then one day, the doors open. You step out of the shadows, and the same people who ignored you are forced to study you. That is the reward of silent work. The world sees the victory, but it never sees the thousands of nights that created it. It sees the sword shine. It does not see the fire that forged it. Your silence must become that fire. Use it to burn away your need for validation. Use it to destroy the weak voice inside you that wants everyone to understand. They do not need to understand. They only need to witness the result. Stop telling people what you are going to become. Become it. Stop announcing that you are changing. Change. Stop warning everyone that they will regret losing you. Leave, improve, and let your absence speak. The strongest response to disrespect is often distance, not another argument, not revenge, not a paragraph explaining your worth. Distance. A closed door can speak more powerfully than 1,000 angry words. When someone repeatedly disrespects you, your silence should not mean acceptance. It should mean their access to you is ending. No dramatic goodbye, no final performance. You simply remove your presence from the place where it was not valued. That is not cruelty. That is self-respect. The old version of you wanted closure. The stronger version understands that some doors do not need to be closed gently. They need to be locked. You may never receive an apology. You may never get an explanation. You may never hear the truth from the person who betrayed you. Accept it. Your peace cannot depend on the honesty of people who already proved they were dishonest. Silence becomes freedom when you stop waiting for answers from those who created the confusion. Walk away. Let the unanswered questions die behind you. Your future is calling from a place where their voice cannot reach. But silence will test you. At first, it will feel lonely. You will want to return to the noise. You will want to contact people who have forgotten you. You will want to explain yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you. Do not do it. Loneliness is often the entrance fee for transformation. The caterpillar disappears before it earns its wings. The warrior trains alone before the kingdom learns his name. The blade is forged away from the battlefield. Your isolation may not be punishment. It may be preparation. Use it. Read when others party. Train when others sleep. Plan while others gossip. Build while others watch. The silent man wins because his energy moves in one direction. He is not divided between his mission and the opinions of strangers. He knows that every minute spent proving himself is a minute stolen from improving himself. So he becomes unavailable to distraction. He stops responding to every message. He stops entering every debate. He stops giving front row seats to people who never supported the show. His life becomes quieter. His circle becomes smaller. His standards become higher. And his power becomes impossible to hide. You do not need everyone. You need discipline. You need a mission strong enough to survive lonely nights. You need a reason to wake up when motivation is dead and the room feels cold. Because motivation is loud. Discipline is silent. Motivation tells everyone it is coming. Discipline arrives before sunrise and begins working. Motivation depends on emotion. Discipline continues when emotion has abandoned the battlefield. That is why disciplined men appear calm. They are no longer negotiating with themselves. They have made a decision, and the weaker voice inside them no longer gets a vote. Imagine becoming that man. A man whose mood does not control his actions. A man who does not collapse when ignored. A man who does not chase people, attention, or temporary pleasure. A man who can stand alone beneath a black sky and still know exactly who he is. That man cannot be easily manipulated. Praise does not intoxicate him. Criticism does not destroy him. Rejection does not define him. He listens to everything, but he obeys only his principles. That is real freedom. The world can scream, but it cannot enter his mind without permission. Chaos can surround him, but it cannot command him. He has mastered the kingdom within. And a man who rules himself is more powerful than a man who tries to rule everyone else. Your silence should never come from emptiness. Fill it with work. Fill it with strategy. Fill it with prayer, reflection, study, pain, and growth.